But now is my honor to introduce to you from Arlington, Tennessee, the National 2014 Poetry Out Loud Grand Champion, AnitaNorman.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me okay? It's good? The Layers by Stanley Kunitz. I have walked through many lives, some of them my own, and I am not who I was, though some principle of being abides, from which I struggle not to stray. When I look behind, as I am compelled to look before I can gather strength to proceed on my journey, I see the milestones dwindling toward the horizon, and the slow fires trailing from the abandoned campsites over which scavenger angels wheel on heavy wings. Oh, I have made myself a tribe out of my true affections, and my tribe is scattered. How shall the heart be reconciled to its feast of losses? In a rising wind, the manic dust of my friends, those who fell along the way, bitterly stings my face. Yet I turn exulting somewhat, with my will intact to go wherever I need to go, and every stone on the road precious to me. In my darkest night, when the moon was covered and I roamed through wreckage, a nimbus-clouded voice directed me. Live in the layers, not on the litter. Though I lack the arts to decipher it, no doubt the next chapter in my book of transformations is already written. I am not done with my changes. Morning Poem for the Queen of Sunday by Robert Hayden. Lords lost him his mockingbird, his fancy warbler. Satan sweet-talked her, 4 bullets hushed her. Who would have thought she'd end that way? 4 bullets hushed her, and the world a-clang with evil. Who's going to make old hardened sinner men tremble now, and the righteous rock? Oh, who will sing Jesus down to help with struggling and doing without and being colored, all through Blue Monday till way next Sunday? All those angels in their creton clouds and finery, the true believer saw when she reared back her head and sang. All those angels are surely weeping. Who would have thought she'd end that way? 4 holes in her heart, the gold works wrecked, but she looks so natural. In her big bronze coffin among the broken hearts and gates ajar. It's as if any moment she turned this quiet into shouting Sunday and make folks forget what she did on Monday. Oh, Satan sweet-talked her, and 4 bullets hushed her. Lord's lost him his diva. His fancy warbler's gone. Who would have thought? Who would have thought she'd end that way?
Wow. Hard to talk. So how do you select which poems you're going to tell? I guess, am I supposed to go over to this mic? Am I okay? Oh, we're okay. As storytellers, that's one of our hardest decisions to make. What story are we going to tell at that moment? How do you decide? Why did you pick those 2 stories to tell?
For sure. I must admit it's really, really difficult. And for the competition, there's a selection of poems that you would choose on the website. And I mean, there are hundreds. And when I say I probably read every single one of them, no doubt. But the layers in particular was kind of a statement poem. And I feel like every time I step onto the stage, I want to make a statement. I want to leave something, that people can think about. And the layers, for me, I'm in high school and I'm struggling, what am I going to do next and how am I going to do it and who's going to be there with me? And there's a particular line, those who fell along the way. Just realizing that, life is a journey and you want to reflect back on what you've been through, but people are going to fall and it's not going to be the same and you're changing and that's okay. You might have to walk alone, but keep going and pick up those pieces and keep marching on. So that was a powerful thing for me, that it was a comforting thing, that it's okay. And morning poem for the Queen of Sunday. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas. I grew up in a little church called Harris Temple Baptist Church. It's a family church. And I can remember, I can remember my great-grandmother or my aunt standing up, and you just, the room kind of shifts when they start singing. I mean, you're ignited. You feel good when they sing, and what it might be like if they're not there anymore. And there are particular moments in the poem when I really do, I feel at home, and I feel like I'm standing here and I'm at the National Storytelling Festival, but I'm back in Little Rock, and I see my great-grandmother, I see my aunts and my uncles, so that's comforting.
I'm going to ask her one more question, and then Anita is going to do a third poem, but because so many of us read poems, why do you feel that you want to tell them out loud? What is the difference between reading a poem and actually telling it out loud?
I definitely, I love to read poetry, but I think there's something really, really special about the words being heard. Like I've always been told, poetry is written to be read, a play might be written to be read, or you shouldn't just read it. But there's a connection that happens, when you say a word, and when I say, I can feel energy here, and I think it's important to recognize that the stories that are being told on paper are real, and what you're going through or feel at a particular moment is real. And so I'm blessed with the opportunity to be able to breathe life into those stories and share them, but also to make them my own, even though they're the poets, but then also for you to make them your own and to take them. They're like little trinkets. You put them in your pocket. And you don't know how many times, I'll be sitting on the couch and somebody will say something on TV, and my dad and I will start saying the poem because, there might be a word and the word fits into the poem, and then you start saying the poem. But just that connection, it's always with you, and I think that's important.
One more poem from AnitaNorman.
Mama Memphis by AnitaNorman. Who could deny a mother the miracle fidgeting in her arms? Only the angels could create something like that, but I was no miracle. A late bloomer birthed somewhere between Sun Records and Stax, spun into a head of black wool and a will to be somebody. Mama didn't play no games, carefully molding her babies into intricate works of art, and Lord, aren't we beautiful? But there came a time when I left what I knew, and someone happened to ask me about home, about Mama. How her tongue whipped my behind to and fro, taking me and breaking me, then building a me made of all things hustle. How her eyes reflected the fluidity of the Mississippi, which rolled down her face in anticipation of something great. Let me tell you something. You don't know the feeling of home until behind her pulpit early Sunday morning the earth breaks and you felt the second coming. Until you meet her people, her protégés of love, choir members humming the sultry sounds of blues, until you meet the blues. Bombarded by shells of what used to be, how it haunts and consumes her streets with old miseries. There is sanctuary in forgetting old tendencies, but what we're forgetting is the necessity to move forward. She implores us to move forward. I inhale a culmination of everything Mama's been through. Exhale a proclamation of a greater Memphis which lies in the youth who call her bosom home, whose eyes glow in the glow of her pyramid, who dance down Beale to the magic in her sway, who leave for something better and can't wait to come home because she is forever. When I finally returned, the moist rosy of her lips greeted me on the front porch, and for the first time I smelled magnolia on her breath, watched the heave of her chest, daring the world to have a seat and listen. Memphis is alive, they'll say, and I'll smile and nod because, yes, Mama is very much alive in me.